Right, good morning guys and welcome back to my channel, Maxman7GT. Just wanted to give you a talk over of a race that I had yesterday. It was in the 6-cylinder A-class at Nürburgring. It was a 8-lap race, starting on the softs, trying to get ahead, pit, get back and see where we could finish. So sit back and enjoy and let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything you want to see, any sort of races, any sort of classes, last to whatever position videos, just let me know in the comments and yeah, I'll see what I can do for you. Yeah, so sit back and enjoy. So I'll get off to a good start, shifting up. This car is unbelievable, it handles unbelievable. There's one of my party guys, mock shop. He's got my livery on his car in the KTM. The KTM had a lot better handling than the RX-7, but the RX-7 I think as an all-round car on a track like this was a little bit better. So as I come down, obviously trying to get used to the car on the first lap. I've got soft tyres on, but need to give them time to warm up. So I mean, we've pulled a little bit of a gap already coming down. The KTM has got a lot better handling, but like I said, the RX-7 is more complete. I was just trying to find my feet really on the first lap. Obviously working my way through the gears, working my way through the corners. I qualified on pole, so I had a good understanding of the track. Just took a little bit of time to get up to scratch. So as we come down to the hairpin here, I've got a good gap. I think I'm about a second ahead at this point. Just trying to make sure that I get out of the corner right, get through my gears. Locked up a little bit. Like I said, I'm only just started using ABS, so it's something that is going to happen until I get absolute feel with the brakes. But obviously I am pulling away, so I'm not doing too bad at this point. It's the first lap of 8, 20-minute race. I do enjoy the longer races. I think they're, I just think there's a little bit more about them. You know, when you're doing a 4-lap S-class, A-class, you put soft tyres on, you drive as fast as you can, and you go for it. Obviously through here we've got all different types of cars, all different types of strategies. There's people on sport tyres, people on hard tyres, medium tyres, soft tyres. So I think it just adds a little bit of extra to the game. You know, you can run hards all the way to the end of the race. You can run sport tyres, stock-ish tyres to the end of the race. If you go mediums or softs, you've got to pit. So it's all about trying to get out as quick as you can and try and pull away. So as we come round after the first lap, just finishing the first lap, 1.6, 1.7 ahead. This car is quick. Once it gets into 5th gear, it does start to pull. So in my head, my mentality was, I knew Mock Shop was going to be close. He's a quick racer in a quick car. So my mentality was looking at maybe 3rd, 4th, thinking I need to probably gain gap 15, 20 seconds. On a track like this, it is difficult. It was probably the wrong strategy. You'll see at the end, obviously how close I did get, but it was probably the wrong strategy. But yeah, obviously I just wanted to try something different. I could have put hards on, gone to the end of the race, and you would have had a video of just watching me drive the car. I know that's what you've got at the moment, but at least there's something a little bit different in this one. So as you can see, I'll still keep locking up the brakes slightly, but I'm getting used to it. I'm pulling a little bit. What am I now? I'm just up to 3 seconds ahead. You can see up on the left hand side. So I was starting to pull. The geezer in second has just gone into second, was also in the RX-7, different tune. The tune on this is CQR Taku. I do advise anyone that wants to try the A-class Mazda RX-7 to try that. It's just such a balanced tune. Everything works. It does what you want it to do. It turns in well. So yeah, so I'm pulling. I'm up to 4 seconds. So I'm thinking I'm in a pretty good position. I'm not really concentrating on the people further back at the moment coming through. You'll see later on that there are a couple of people that are sort of down in 6th, 7th, 8th. There was battles with after I'd pitted. But my mentality at this moment in time is just to get my head down and just try and pull away really. This is a quick car. I mean, it's quite a strange car. So even up to gears 1, 2, 3 and 4, it works pretty well. 5th gear, it just pulls. And when I say pulls, you gain 30 mile an hour, flat out. It revs up to, you know, 8,500, 9,000 RPM. And, you know, realistically, in 5th gear, you're doing 157 mile an hour before you've got to change up again. You don't really need the 6th. They probably could have extended 5th a little bit more. But like I said, the tune's absolutely perfect. So as you can see up on the left hand side, I've pulled about 5 seconds. I'm pretty happy with that at the moment, but it's after 3 laps. I knew I was going to have to pit after 4. Heating up the tyres a little bit there. Tyre wear started to come into play sort of at the end of the 3rd lap, 4th lap. Unfortunately, the telemetry on the side here doesn't really show the tyre wear wearing away, so to speak. So you'll just have to trust me on that one. As you can see, I'm starting to get used to the car a bit better. I've got my lines right through the corners. I'm just trying to make sure I hit all my apexes and get as much power out the corner as I can. Again, looking up in the left hand side, I'm up to 5.2, 5.3 seconds on second, you know, and 7.5 on Mock. Mock made a couple of mistakes, I know, in the first couple of laps. So, you know, he was going to have to battle back through. If you look up on the left hand side as well, RD Ferguson, now he's coming through pretty quick. I've got 12 seconds on him, which after 3 laps, you look at 4 seconds a lap, I'm pretty happy with that. Realistically, usually if you can get a gap of about 20 seconds on this strategy, you can pit. You might not come out in front, but you come out close enough to benefit from the soft tyres again to close in. So again, I'm just trying to hammer it as much as possible. I'm constantly pulling the gap out. Like I said, I'm hitting my apexes, I'm hitting the corners, and that's basically what I was concentrating on doing. I started looking at the tyres. I think by this point, like I said, you can't really see it on the telemetry, but my tyres were sort of just below half. So realistically, and it's one thing that does frustrate me slightly on Forza, is the tyre wear. So if it takes 3-4 laps to wear half your tyres, you shouldn't then lose your tyres within a lap. You know, it's not quite balanced enough. You know, a soft, if you can look after your tyres, you should be able to make the soft last maybe 5 or 6 laps. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter how you drive on Forza. The tyre wear does seem to be the same across any car if you're on the same sort of tyres. So as you can see here, I've pulled out 8 seconds on second. Mox goes back in on second place. RD Ferguson, again, he was the person I was looking at that started to close in a little bit. Again, I've pulled 15 seconds, maybe 16 seconds at this point. So, you know, I'm in a pretty comfortable position. I just wanted to make sure that I hit all of my corners. This was a bit of a scruffy lap to a certain extent for my in lap, but, you know, I just tried to keep hammering it as much as I could. Again, this car, I mean, what can I say about the car? It's just brilliant, really. For an A-class car, there's not much better out there. I mean, there's not much better in regards to the facts of speed, handling. Of course, you've got the Exocets and bits and bobs. You know, for pure handling tracks, this isn't the car for you. KTM Crossbow, Exocet are probably the handling cars, but for a proper circuit, which I'd class this as, over, you know, somewhere, for example, like Grand Oak or Lime Rock, as a full circuit, this car, you can't really go wrong with it. So as you can see up in the left hand side now, I pulled 9 seconds on Mock. I'm about 17 seconds now on fourth, RD Ferguson. As I keep saying, he's the person that you need to keep an eye on. He was running till the end, so I knew that he was going to be probably my battle. So as I'm coming up to the chicane here, I'm going to pit. It makes sense to pit. There's no point trying to run dead tyres for another lap. You just lose time. So my strategy was pit. So I make a good pit entry, so to speak. It's a very difficult pit entry. You take it too wide, you hit the wall. I have a little slide in there, as you can see. So yeah, so I'm coming into the pit. So if you look up on the left hand side, I think Mock follows me in. Third place stays out. And again, obviously RD Ferguson, the chap I keep saying to keep an eye on, he stays out as well. Didn't realise how long the pit lane was. I thought it was shorter than it is. Fortunately, it isn't. So, I mean, I probably lost 30 seconds in the pits in the end. So I put softs back on, put some fuel in. I always try and run a lap more than what I'm going to pit on the fuel strategy. Try and make the best out of the tyres rather than running full fuel. It's not much of a difference, but it can make a difference. So as I come out of the pits here, you'll see, I think that's a Mercedes. You'll see this Mercedes coming. Now this Mercedes, I don't know what I've done to him, but he was not happy. Tried to push me off the track multiple times. Just not needed really. I'll get it sideways round there because I'm just trying. As you can see, he's just pushing me wide, pushing me wide. I brake, try and cut back on the inside because I could see what he was going to do. And luckily, I just get in front of him because I think he probably would have tried to spin me. Now, I lost, I would say, probably 2-3 seconds in that little battle there, which realistically is probably going to come back to haunt me. When you're trying to do this sort of strategy, you've got to make sure that every second counts. You can't make mistakes. This BMW on the left-hand side looked like he was having fun, drifting about. Fair play, you know, drive the cars that you like at the end of the day. I managed to get around the outside. He did tap me slightly. Don't think it was an attempt to spin. I think I just tried to take the corner and he was a little bit late on the brakes. So looking now, so I'm now, what, 20 seconds behind second place. Sorry, 10 seconds behind second place. Yeah, it's 10 seconds in four laps. It should be doable, but like I said, I lost 3 seconds. So realistically, if I was 7 seconds back, I'd feel pretty comfortable. I'm 19 seconds off the leader. Now, rightly or wrongly, on the grid, the leader was sort of trying to copy whatever I was going to do with my tyres. I sat on mediums tyres with 6 laps of fuel in until the last 3 seconds, changed to softs. I made a little bit of a mistake there as well, lost a bit of time. It's a little bit cheeky, but obviously the leader was going to have to pit. And as you can see, I think he comes in the pits now. He might come in the pits another lap, but he's currently out in the lead. So I did play a little bit of a game, you know, it was just a little bit of fun at the end of the day. So Mock Chop's pitted, he's back in 8th. I'm now in 5th position, trying to work my way up. So I've got Sertra, who is a few seconds down the road. I didn't really make much time on that first lap. Again, I lost a lot of time with that guy who's ironically still behind me, just trying to tap me off the track. There was no need for it, but hey ho, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm just getting my head down, just trying to hit my lines and trying to catch up as quick as I can. The racer in first is going to pit at the end of this lap. He did, like I said, he did 6 laps on the medium. Mediums don't really work in this track because they don't go to the end and they're not quick enough for the softs. But as you can see further down the road, I am closing in on 4th and 3rd. So it was just a case of trying to catch up as quick as possible and try and make a good enough pass. These two were battling, which did help me slightly. Yeah, I mean, realistically, sometimes, you know, as much as, you know, you want to see clean racing, if you're trying to catch people down, sometimes you want to see them battling. You don't want to see them taking each other out, obviously, but, you know, good battle in a good race is always what we want to see. So as you can see, I took a lot of time out of them on this lap, and I was closing in. I was only 1.9 seconds. Sorry, I was only about 2 seconds behind both. Just trying to close in as quick as I could. So coming up to the chicane here, again, my car's got better handling. Now, the picked Mustang in front, as you'll see after I pass him, was getting held up by the racer in third, because once he and I both got past him, he must have been on hards, but the grip in that Mustang was unbelievable. So I've got 2 laps left to go. I started to see the wind sort of drifting away from me. As you can see, R.D. Ferguson, he's made up 12 positions. He's driven well and he's done what he's had to do. So I'm now up to 4th because Kovacic has had to pit after being on the mediums. So I've closed in lows on these 2 guys. Again, just trying to take my lines to make sure I can gain as quick as possible. Now these 2 here were having a little bit of a rub, which, you know, the Porsche, I think they were both battling. You know, I'm not going to say either was trying to push each other off the track or be a little bit harder than they should be, but it enabled me ultimately to close in. Unfortunately, I'm now 7 seconds behind the leader because I've actually been held up by this battle just by not having the right area to pass. Here though, the Porsche pushes the Mustang wide. I get out the inside of the Mustang, and now I'm on the back of the Porsche. So my mentality here is try not to lose any more excuse me, any more time coming up behind the Porsche. So I get my braking line right, the Porsche runs wide. I do lock up slightly. So I'm up into seconds. Unfortunately, I've now got 7.8 seconds to catch up on the leader in 1.5 laps. Now, realistically, I thought I'm probably going to finish 5 seconds behind. But the last lap that we're going to be coming on to was actually my quickest lap of the race. As you can see though, the Mustang, the grip on that Mustang is phenomenal. He closes up through the corners, but on the straights, again, like I said, as an all-rounder, this Mazda is the car that I would choose for A-Class. It competes with the GT40s, which are what we'd say an OP car for A-Class. It's just an all-round car. So I'm coming through the chicane, so as you can see, I've closed in a second on the leader, which I wasn't expecting. I know that he's on hards, but he's got his pace. And usually once you're sort of 8 laps in, you're in your rhythm, you've got your pace. He hasn't had to pass anyone for a while. But as you can see, I'm just taking time out of him. I actually took 2 seconds out in the second half of that lap. Just going to put it out there now, I think one more lap would have done me. I think one more lap I would have had him. But that's racing. At the end of the day, like I said, I lost 3 seconds getting held up by the racer that's now in 10th position. 3 seconds when you're trying to do this sort of strategy makes all the difference. So again, I'm just trying to push as best as I can on this, just trying to hit my lines and just see if I can do anything to try and catch him. Miracles do happen sometimes. So if you look up in the left hand side, I'm just taking chunks and chunks of time out of him now. I am 5.6 seconds, so I've taken another half a second out of him in the first sector. Again, I'm just trying to hit my lines. I did lock up a little bit there, but it did help me turn the car. I can now see him in going down to the hairpin. And, you know, like Jaws, like the shark music starts coming on, it's what you get in your head. You start thinking, can I close him down, can I take him? I've got no penalties and nor is he, so it is going to be a straight out and out battle. I'm just hitting my lines. I've got the car exactly where I want it. I'm driving the car how I want to drive it. I am pushing. I'm pushing as much as I can. And what you've got to remember, pretty much dead soft tyres. So as you can see, I'm down to 4 seconds. Closing in, closing in. Look, straight up it wasn't going to be enough. But there was always an inkling of hope. You know, coming onto a straight, I thought I might be able to pull in him on here. His car was decent in a straight line. So I didn't take loads of time out of him on the straight. So we're just waiting for the sector to come up on the left hand side now. I think I'm about 3.5 seconds behind him here. Go through the chicane, I get a good line through the chicane, and I'm on him again. So as you can see, I'm so close, 2.9 seconds, 2.8. It was coming down all the time, but this was the last corner of the last lap. All he had to do was get out the corner, and he had it in the bag. In the end, I finished 2.3 seconds behind him, 2.2 seconds behind him. So that last lap was, it was a belter really. It was a brilliant race, but like I said, if I hadn't been held up, you know, unfortunately it seems to happen quite a bit in Forza. I don't think people appreciate you going past at such a quick rate, but ultimately, you know, it shouldn't matter. If you've got a faster car coming up past you, there's no point battling them. You know, you're probably better off sitting behind them so you don't lose too much time to the car that's maybe chasing up behind as well, that's probably on the same strat. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. It is Maximan7GT. Please subscribe to my channel on Twitch as well. If you've got any ideas for any videos you want to watch, if you want to add me on Xbox with the same name, and you ever want to jump in and have a race or be part of a private multiplayer, which I'm going to start setting up soon, message me, comment on my videos, and we'll see what we can sort out. Cheers guys, thank you very much for your time, and I'll catch you all soon.